So we have the MOS for Electronics and IT and Skill Development, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, with us. He has been a vocal voice for Bangalore's interest and Karnataka's interest. Thank you very much for speaking to us,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr.
I start with the very basic question. What are the BJP's major learnings from the Karnataka elections of 2023?
No, I think it's a little too early for us to get to what are the learnings. Certainly, our leadership, both at the center and at the state, will look into what the causes, what were the reasons, and what changes need to be done. Our Chief Minister Basavaraj Bommai has already spoken about this, and so therefore we will introspect, we will analyze, and we will see what went wrong and what went right.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, this you've spoken about it earlier also. The Congress guarantees have actually seemed to have made an impact. Will this have any impact on the fiscal health of the state?
100%. I think this type of Revdi economics is extremely dangerous, especially after Chief Minister Bommai and his government have rebuilt the Karnataka economy after the COVID hit. And the early estimates are that the Revdi promises of the Congress government will itself lead to additional spending every year of about 60,000 crores, which means the fiscal deficit of the state, which means essentially that future generations of Kannadigas will have to incur and repay the debt that has been borrowed today by the Congress government. So I think it is certainly not a good thing for the state. It is certainly not a good thing for anybody who thinks about the future of the state. And it is certainly not a good thing for the youth of the state who will be bearing the burden of that debt. So let us see what steps the Karnataka government does, how much of it they fulfill, how much of it they don't. But because their track record, as you know, in the Congress is that they make a lot of promises pre-election and then fail to deliver on it. And so let us see.
Sir, Bangalore, when it comes to the city of Bangalore, you've always spoken about its interest. BJP seems to have done better in Bangalore. As a citizen of Bangalore, what will be your expectations?
No, look, I think Bangalore has responded very significantly this time to the call for decisive majority. Unfortunately, that call for decisive majority did not work in the rest of Karnataka, but I'm deeply pleased and happy and proud that Bangaloreans have seen that the future is best under a BJP government, even though we certainly did not make the mark in the overall elections. But look, Bengaluru is a very important part of not just Karnataka, but for the whole India story and for the new India vision that the Honorable Prime Minister is scripting and building out. And therefore, that Bengaluru must move out of the urban chaos and the exploitation that we have seen there for several years and decades, and that it moves to modern governance, creating ease of living for all of its citizens and all of its residents, is something that I'm hopeful of. I don't know if this government will be able to do it, because the track record of the Congress over the last 65 years when it has governed Karnataka and in Bengaluru has been that it has always looked at Bengaluru as an exploitation opportunity. So I'm not holding my breath about the Congress being able to deliver anything, but certainly I hope in the coming years we get an opportunity to do something about Bengaluru.
Mr. Chandrasekhar, in the last few days, we saw a lot of differences between the two main Congress leaders coming out. Do you think something like this has an impact on the state's governance?
No, look, I know both these gentlemen well, and I've referred to them during the elections as poster boys of everything that is wrong with Karnataka politics. Both are both represents a very different type of politics that we should be actually walking away from and moving to a new type of politics. But they are both basically two sides of the same coin. And that coin is a coin where there is rampant corruption, there is a tremendous amount of exploitation of public money and public resources, and whether it is mining or whether it is contracts. Both these leaders have an illustrious, long-standing track record, including masquerading as socialists but wearing a 70 lakh Hublot watch. So I am not holding my breath that there will be anything new in this Congress dispensation, and it will be more of the usual, where there was a recent meme that, as I said, that Sidramaya will exploit and run the ATM from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and DK Shivkumar will run it from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So I don't know what clocks they are working on and what is the division of spoils, but certainly both these are bad news for our state.
Sir, the swearing-in ceremony is turning out to be a meetup of opposition leaders. Do you think the Karnataka elections will have any sort of, implications for 2024 Lok Sabha?
No, not at all. I don't believe that at all, and I think nobody who is a sane observer of the progress that India has made over the last 9 years compared to the previous 65 years will ever have an inkling of doubt about which way the country wants to go, which way the people of India want to move. We are on a path to become the third largest economy in the world, to creating opportunities for each and every Indian without discrimination, regardless of religion. And we are embarked on that path, and every one of the 1.2 billion Indians know that we are embarked on this path. Now, it is not, I mean, we can expect that the Congress and the motley crew of their opposition allies will muddy the waters and create more lies and hit jobs leading up to the 2024 election. But I think the train with the Indian people has left the station. They are determined to continue the progress that has been made in the last 9 years and continue the progress going forward. Nobody wants to look back and go back to the bad old days of the Congress 65 years. And certainly they don't want the politics of divide and rule and Revdi economics that will bankrupt the country and in a sense make weaker future generations. Our Prime Minister is taking the country forward where every generation of young Indian, to current and in the future, can hold their head up high with their hard work, with their enterprise, create something for themselves and have the government be an enabler of success rather than being a roadblock, and government enjoy the success of their citizens rather than exploit them. So I think 2024, in my opinion, is a foregone conclusion that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji will continue to govern and lead the country to where the country's destiny is certainly meant to go. And but that is not at all implying that the opposition parties will not make the job more difficult or make it more, or muddy the water even more. But that they will do, and I think they are reduced to doing that. But Karnataka 2023 has no implication on India 2024.
Thank you, sir. The last question. There's one more issue that's been capturing the imagination of the country, and that's the Kerala story. You have roots in that state, and you've always spoken against censorship. So when it comes to censorship and creativity, you feel it's really unfair on the filmmakers to be at the mercy of the state and put their works as...
Yeah, no, I think this is a very strange behavior and political impulse on the part of the parties like TMC and the Congress, where they are so fearful of their vote bank that even an expression, creative expression of the truth on the ground is being held back for fear of it in some ways hurting the sentiments of their vote banks. Hurting the sentiments of people willfully is wrong, but laying the truth out there and allowing a story to be put out there for everybody to understand and learn from is a very different proposition. And I certainly think that political leaders and political parties that do this for their vote bank are doing a grave injustice to the fabric of India, which is about free expression, the constitutionally guaranteed right to free expression. So there are, of course, like I said, there are politicians and political leaders who are doing nothing but vote banking, and for them their political impulse is now repeatedly coming out whenever there is a true story out there. Their efforts to trample it, we've seen that in the Kashmir story, we are seeing this in the Kerala story. The Kerala story is a story that everybody must watch. It is a legitimate narrative of a genuine problem. It is not against any religion. It is not against any, it's not pro any religion. It is showing a societal phenomenon that is clear and present danger to the cohesion, to the unity of our nation. And I think it is something that everybody should have the right to watch.
Thank you, sir. So that was Rajiv Chandrasekhar talking to us and telling us that Karnataka elections of 2023 will have no impact on the Lok Sabha elections of 2024, and the people of the country will vote decisively for who does the best work for them. This is Vasudha Venugopal with camera person Azam Siddiqui for NDTV.